Guys, I'm about to get into at least Act 1 of Romeo and Juliet today. We'll see how much energy I have to get through Shakespeare because I literally just did another live stream for the things they carried. It's been a long time since I read Romeo and Juliet, but let's start with what I already know about Romeo and Juliet. There's Romeo of the Capulets, I think, and Juliet of the Montagues. I think I'm right. They're on bitter. Their tribes, their clans, their whatever you call them. Their little factions are bitter rivals, and they love each other. They love each other desperately. Shakespeare wrote this. It's a tragedy, and they do come to. Is Romeo and Juliet where the term star-crossed lovers comes from? I'm not sure. Just forgive me. I'm not so much of an English literature expert. I'm more of an American poetry guy. At least I was, 10 years ago. So I honestly, isn't that it? And at the end they die. At the end they die in this tragically ironic, like dramatic irony, in this tragically ironic way where they think that the other is already dead, and so they kill themselves. So if you were to actually see that on stage for the first time in your life, it would be just so painful. It would be. Now, given how well trod this story is, and the fact that I had read this years ago when I didn't care so much about literature, when I was just doing this for an assignment, um, given all the sort of cultural baggage around this, I think it would be a little bit of a challenge to emotionally engage. I'm not sure I will be able to, but I'll try. I'll try. I'll give it my best shot. And right now, I'm using Amazon. Not I'm not using Kindle on my iPad. I'm going to be using the Books app, the iPad Books app. We'll see how well that works. I'll try to give interesting reactions. But I'll try to. But I think with the previous stream, I was kind of explaining a little too much, so I might be a little more. I might be a little bit more silent for this particular reaction. I'm looking at Romeo and Juliet right now in front of me on my iPad, but we'll go right into the pre-reading. Here's why. Honestly, I don't want to be. Actually, you know what? I'm a little conflicted. On the one hand, I kind of want to try Romeo and Juliet with no pre-reading whatsoever. Just not even recall what Act One looks like what happens at Act One, and and just see if I can actually do the sort of intellectual work of figuring out what the story is just from the lines themselves, because it's not easy. It was definitely not easy for me when I was in high school. And I was someone who got an 800 on the reading section in SAT, so it was not easy for me. In fact, I don't think I would have been able to understand the Shakespeare stories if I had not had Spark Notes to at least summarize what was happening, so that I could at least get a sense of what was happening. But I kind of want to try it, without any pre-reading whatsoever, and because I already kind of know what the overall arc of the story is. So, you know what? Now that I've said it all out loud, I'm going to try it without any pre-reading. I'm using the base knowledge that I already do have about Romeo and Juliet, but no specific act by act summary, nothing like that. However, it might still be useful to look at Goodreads reviews. I'm actually kind of curious, what some of the reactions, the emotional reactions people have, and maybe the intellectual reactions that people have to Romeo and Juliet as a story, as a work of art. I care less about the long and storied history of critical development on this story. Probably at some point there's a feminist argument about a feminist interpretation of this story. Probably back in Shakespeare's times, there were competing interpretations and stuff like that. I don't want to get into that. I'm not trying to be a professor today. I'm just trying to be a reader, someone who likes to read. So I'm gonna avoid all of that in my pre-reading, and I'm gonna focus primarily on, you know, what do people respond to? What do people respond to? How do they enjoy this story? So let's go into the pre-reading for now. What's that over here? Let me update my little thing. I'm gonna only do Act 1 for today. I don't think I'll be. You know what? Whatever. I'll just do Romeo and Juliet. Billy Shakes. Just kidding. William Shakespeare. Here we go. And I have my iPad in front of you. But, I'll go into this first. So we have Romeo and Juliet. Oh, and by the way, if you ever want to sort of engage with this story a little better, honestly, just watching a movie might help. Just because, it's easier to watch a movie than it is to actually read the thing. So that's just a quick tip. I mean, it makes it much, 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 much easier to follow the sort of emotional arc of the story. Now, this audience review, what is this? 3.5. That's such terrible Okay. Well, what is this? Oh, okay, right. It's zoomed in because I was zoomed in earlier. Let me just make sure that you can see. Yes, you can see my screen. So 3.75, not the highest rating. It's probably just one of those things that happens when everyone is forced to read it at some point in their lives. So the score does drop over time when something's like that. Creates a violent world. Yeah, I forget about that. It is a violent world. You know what? I actually want to go a little bit, now that I think about this, I am slightly curious about this violent world. Curious enough to go into Wikipedia and look up the sort of historical situation around, like, where does Shakespeare get the story from? Because all of his stories were sort of they were sort of like repackaging of previous stories. So I want to know where he got this story from. The Montagues and Capulets are engaged in a blood feud. Yes, it is a violent world. The quintessential story of young love. Oh, sure. Okay, that's good. Yeah, all my friends and their ratings. Hilarious. The most enjoyable Shakespeare play, but it's too broad. All right, let's start with this critical one. Romeo and Juliet abridged. I'm Romeo. I used to be emo and annoying, but I'm now so totally in love, and it's awesome. Okay, 3 things. There's only room in this play for one awesome character, and it's me, bitch. 2, you're still emo and annoying. 3, didn't you say that exact same stuff about yesterday about Rosaline? Who? This is actually pretty funny. Good news, Juliet. I found you a husband. Dude, what? 13. Let's not talk about that, Kay. I'm a complete tool. I don't want to marry that apparently decent and unflawed guy. It was hot. I will be damned. This is actually a very smart review. I'm actually super curious. What the? That was actually a hilarious. It's honestly legitimately hilarious. I don't know what I'm not gonna get into the review. It's kind of awkwardly private, but okay. I'm gonna move on from this because it is a read for 9th grade English bonus, courtesy of the Second City. Now, Second City is a comedy thing, no? Yeah, it is. Interesting. I wonder if this person was a comedian. Okay. So, yes. Honestly, guys, this stuff, when you do pre-reading, like actually having genuine, like this person clearly has an emotional reaction to the story. So I honestly think reading this will probably help you more than just understanding the story arcs. the story, like the plot lines. Like this will summarize the plot lines for you, but also be funny and everything, and also kind of get at maybe the problems that people have with the story. So I would definitely recommend reading this. It would make your reading so much better. Um, Now I want to read maybe one more critical one for now, and then move on to a more positive review. Okay, we're upset more about the moral aspects of it, right? Even in Shakespeare's England, most women were at least 21 before they married. They were, they knew they were meant to be together forever. Hilarious. I'm gonna move on. This person is cynical about young love, so I'm gonna, I understand that. I'm gonna move on. I faked my death prank gone wrong. Yeah, also pretty funny. I just really want to find something more positive. Here we go. This is what happens when you jump into a rebound relationship. Okay. Okay. Here. I feel like just reading this first sentence over here, I feel like this is maybe a little too rational, but here we go. Are the ones who view common sense over being rational in a structured way, falling in love, 13. Okay. I don't know if. Okay. It's an escape from the modern world. Gorgeous writing. Sure. Romantic. Yes. Cool. I want to get something. Yeah, here we go. Two things struck me. Something specific, okay? Something I want to connect to. The sexual puns are drenched in metaphorical violence. Okay, so the violent language and the sexual puns are all there. And that creates a stark contrast. It's interesting. So there's a lot of wordplay, which, by the way, when you're reading William Shakespeare, that's half of the joy, the wordplay. Mercutio, the nurse, Old Capulet, totally new in Shakespeare, but also in English drama. So this is more of a historical, kind of more of a college professor's take. So I'm gonna kind of skip this a little bit. I want to find more positive tidbits, things that can help us, because other people emotionally react to this. You know, I want to hold on to that, hold on to the good emotions, and I want to be able to reproduce those in my own reading. Information. Why didn't they just run away together? Okay. You know, the problem with Goodreads for this one is because it's such an extremely popular story. It's just so hard. Hey, okay, here we go. We do have something a little bit more impressionistic, a little bit more romantic. Let's find this. The writing in this is so lovely, even when Tybalt gets called a saucy boy. Express love and longing and desire, and this is really something else. Thank you, Jessica. Gentle and quiet romance. That's talking about the city of Verona, which is pretty different from the urgent and desperate love. Okay, here we go. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black-browed night. Give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night. Maybe I just fell under the spell of city, or maybe Shakespeare's words really do have a profound effect on the reader, but I really enjoyed this play. For never was the story more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. You know, thank you for that quotation in context. You know, this Jessica giving a quotation in context, it also made me feel that same feeling, like to just long for somebody like that, right? That's such a good, and that's the power of quotation. You know, when you can contextualize a quote for somebody, you know, you can really. Oh, what happened to the thing? Yeah. When you can really just contextualize that quote for somebody, and you know, that really was effective for me. Maybe one more. I'm gonna go for one more. Also, I just realized I don't have my chat visible, so I should at least hang on. Where's my chat? Is there a way to pop this out? We have one person who viewed for a second. Yeah, there is a way to pop it out. All right, here we go. So there's my chat. Just in case anybody drops in, I'm gonna keep this out here. All right, so I'm looking at this. Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Hang on, what's going on? There's no context on this one. Witty, sarcastic, and sad, enjoyed it all over again. Witty, sarcastic, and sad. Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talkest of nothing. True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind. That has no context whatsoever. I have no idea why that was quoted. Okay. I can't believe I've waited so long. Wow, we have someone who's genuinely like going all out geeking on this story. Having only surmised the story of Romeo and Juliet and not even seen the movie yet, I now know he was a Montague and Juliet Capulet. I know about the they were so young. Yes, okay. Same quotation. Ooh, extremely hard to read. I'm gonna skip that. You know what? I can't find any more. That sounds kind of funny. 2 stars. Hey, I'm eating here. Okay, no. I did mention earlier that I was curious about the sources, so I'm gonna go into the sources just briefly, just to know what the original story, the original Italian story was from. So let's see. Dramatic structure, comedy, tragedy, dramatic skill. This is such a broad idea. I've never heard of dramatic structure as a word. Romeo, for example, grows more adept at the sonnet over the course of the play. That's crazy, dude. Just technically, that's amazing. I would never have learned that, I think, in high school, but that's amazing. Okay. That's all background. Again, avoid the themes and motifs, man. I don't think that helps. And avoid the criticism and interpretation. Where's the sources? Tragic love stories dating back to antiquity. There's Pyramus and Thisbe from Metamorphoses. The lovers' parents despise each other, and Pyramus falsely believes his lover Thisbe is dead. There's also, okay, sure. One of the earliest references to the names Montague and Capulet is from Dante's Divine Comedy. Come and see, you who are negligent, Montagues and Capulets. One lot already grieving, the other in fear. However, it's against more the clay of Florence. Very sure. Okay, come on. Story of, okay, Marialto and Ganozza. Secret marriage, colluding friar. Right, there is a colluding friar, like a plotting monk. Fray where a prominent citizen is killed, caught and beheaded, and dies of grief. Okay, so it's a more blunt ending. Yeah, so Shakespeare's is way more romantic, right? Oh, there is a crucial message that goes astray, though. That's kind of interesting. Okay, this is a little too much, honestly. But the main thing is that these stories were being told in like the 15th century. So it's pretty much contemporaneous, right? Shakespeare's 16th century? Yeah, he is. So, yeah. Okay, you know what? That's good enough. I'm going to get into the story now. All right, Romeo and Juliet. I actually am a little excited just because you know what? I just felt that, you know what it is? It's because of that one quotation from that one person. this marvelously contextualized quotation. Also, the sort of funny, that sort of funny like parody of Romeo and Juliet. I kind of actually want to go back and reread it, but not enough to do it right now. But you know, it got my sort of blood flowing. So I'm kind of curious, like how much I can take out of this story without any help from SparkNotes. They're breaking to new mutiny. It's getting more intense. From fatal, star-crossed lovers. That's exactly where we get this phrase. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes. They take their life from these fatal loins, and their death buries their apparent strife. So there is a bit of a happy ending in the sense of this is interesting. It's almost never mentioned in any of the. It was never. It was not mentioned in anything I just saw in the pre-reading. But according to the prologue, their death, their sacrifice, is what actually settles the feud when they die. So they kind of are sacrificed for the rage of the two families. Samson and Gregory of Capulet, a public place. So lots of punning right now, lots of jokes here. Um, like, I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's. Like, I will kind of attack. That shows you, that makes you a weakling, because only the weak go to the wall, right? So there's like a lot of like them. They're just making fun of each other. Ooh, oh, that's a. I think those are rape jokes. Thrust his maids to the wall. Cut off their heads, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads. Ooh, very violent. Exact. Okay, rape. There we are talking about rape. Take it ins. I am a pretty piece of flesh. 'Tis well thou art not fish. Poor John. What is this John referring to? Okay. Okay, so Montagues are coming out. My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee. Fear me not. No, Mary, I fear thee. Okay, so Samson is just a little coward. He just talks the talk. Bite my... Okay, so Samson is all talk. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? I do bite my thumb, sir. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? Is the law of our side if I say aye? No. No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you. But I bite my thumb, sir. I honestly, this type of humor, when I was a kid, dude, it's so stupid, these jokes. But, and it's supposed to be funny. Oh my god, I think as a high schooler, I would not have gotten this whatsoever. Just FYI, just, as a matter of biographical aside, I was better at, even though I got like a perfect on the reading and everything, I was more of an analytical person. So um, I was really good at like math and physics and all that stuff, um, economics, what have you. But like literature was something I was tortured about. I was like, well, I don't get it. Like people keep talking like as if these things, like not just people around me, not just the teachers, but just like in the world, in civilization, people talk about these works as being great works of art, and I like didn't get it. And I was like, it pissed me off that I didn't get it. So yeah, I would not have gotten this, but it is so funny. It's just so silly. It's like sitcom level humor. Is the law of our side? No. No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you. Do you quarrel, sir? No, sir. I am for you. I serve as good as man as you. No better. Say better. Say better. Now, right, you lie. Okay. Draw if you be men. Part fools. They actually are fighting. Okay, but they're fighting only because the master comes, like the one of the master's kinsmen come. So they're fighting for show. You know not what you do. Beats down their swords. Tybalt. Are Benvolio? So Benvolio and Tybalt must be on the same. Oh no, they're not on the same side. So Benvolio is on the same side as um, Samson and Gregory, who are Capulets, right? Okay. And Tybalt is on the Montague side. I do but keep the peace. Shut up. I hate peace, Tybalt. As I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. And they fight. Wow. I thought Tybalt was a Montague, but I guess not. Um, yeah, whatever. It's okay. Beat them down. Down with the Capulets, down with the Montagues. Stop these idiots. What? Capulet the Lord is coming. Give me my long sword. Ho! Crutch a crutch, I call you for a sword. My sword, I say. Old Montague has come and flourishes his blade in spite of me. Okay, so the old ones are trying to fight, and the wise are holding them back. It's basically a comedy at this point. Which prince is this? Okay, it's just the prince of the town, I guess. Cankered with peace, departure, cankered hate. So basically, the prince is being like, stop fighting. If you fight again, I will kill you. I will have you hanged. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this case. Pleasure as in like what I will, my will, to know my will. On pain of death, all men depart. If everyone stop, or I will have you hanged. Or I will have you decapitated, or whatever it is. Montague is still here. So Capulet is gone with the prince. So Montague and Lady Montague and Benvolio are still here. Who started this fight? And Benvolio is... I drew to part them out. So Benvolio was being a good guy. And in this came this fiery Tybalt with his... So Tybalt is a Capulet. Tybalt Capulet, okay? So Tybalt is the kind of... he's the fire starter. Hang on, I'm gonna increase the size of this so that's easier for you to track where I am. So, okay. I'm gonna keep it kind of towards, like, my eyes are gonna be at like the once, basically at the 1/3 mark. So basically, if it's like here, I'm reading till the prince came who parted either part. That's where my eyes will generally be, at the 1/3 mark. Okay. Wait, hang on. What's going on? He swung about his head, cut the winds, who nothing hurt withal, hissed him in scorn. So he's making fun of Tybalt right now. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted either part. Okay, so little bits of wordplay there. Uh, right, the parts are talking about the people, and then we're also is talking about the splitting, and yeah, and part and part be talking about body parts too. We're not entirely sure about the first part and part, but okay, here we go. Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Romeo is a Montague, okay. Right glad I am he was not at this fray. So right now we get our first characterization of Romeo, and Romeo might be a little fiery one as well, maybe like Tybalt. Tybalt, 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 Tybalt. I'm gonna say Tybalt. Suddenly, this weird response to this question, Benvolio. So at dusk, he was bothered, and he went outside. He took a walk, and he saw Romeo early in the morning at dusk. Oh, at the dawn, before the dawn. Sorry, not dusk. And he hid. And since he was hiding, he just like kind of ignored him. So he's being emo. Like we had that word emo earlier. Um, he's sighing. Away from the light steals home my heavy sun, and he locks himself up as soon as it's night, and turns his room into another night. Do you know why? Do you know why my cousin's such an idiot? Fortuned him by any means. Right, so he's this is such a, that's what kids do. That's what teenagers do, right? They become emo. That's hilarious. I've tried, and I've also tried through my friends, but he is being secret. So far from sounding discovery as his puppet with an impious worm. Hang on. So far from sounding and discovery, he is very far from us understanding what he is feeling. As far as the bud, as the bud of the flower is to the sun. Okay. As the bud of the flower, when this bud of a flower is bit, it's gonna die, so it cannot, it is very far from the sun, basically, something like that. We want to know why he's sad. I would love to cure his sadness as much as I would love to know his sadness. So it's okay if we don't know, but we would like to cure his sadness. Romeo is here. Benvolio is going to try. I would thou wert so happy by thy stay, to hear true shrift. True shrift. What is a shrift? Right. Okay. Confession. To hear the truth. Good morrow, cousin. Is the day so young? Yeah, it's only 9. Ay me, sad hours seem long. It was. What sadness lengthens your hours? Not having that which having makes them short. So, in love, out of love, out of her favor where I am in love. Okay, I see. So, he's, yeah, he's not even aware of his time. He's not being loved. Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. I basically he's saying I wish that love, even though he can't, I wish that love, I wish that my love, even though it cannot see a path, it cannot see clearly, should find a way to earn her love. Okay, it's alas, that love, whose pathways muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine, O me? What fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, O brawling love, O loving hate? O anything of nothing first create. O heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeping forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health. Still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love I feel, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh? No cause. I'd rather weep. At thy good heart's oppression, why such is love's transgression? His grief is heavy. And you being sympathetic is making me even sadder. Soft, I will go along. If you leave me so, you do me wrong. He's some other where. Tell me in sadness, who is it that you love? What shall I groan and tell thee? Groan, why no, but sadly tell me who. Bid a sick man in sickness make his will. I do love a woman. Word ill urged to one that is so ill. I aim so near when I suppose thee love. So that's a joke right there. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman. Yeah, I figured it was a woman. It's basically what Benvolio says. Oh right, good marksman, and she's fair I love. All right, fair mark, fair cuz, as soon as hit. Well, in that hit you miss, she'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit. So she's a tough one, and in strong proof of chastity, well armed. From love's weak childish bow, she lives unharmed. She's not going to love me back. She's impossible to sway, to persuade. She will not stay. No. She's poor that when she dies with beauty dies her store. Her beauty will be spent nowhere when she dies. It's an interesting metaphor. Then she hath sworn she will still live chaste. She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. Oh, so maybe she's being like she's going to become a nun of some sort. Right, if you take all that beauty and you become severe with it by being a nun, that beauty is going to be gone forever. She's forsworn to love. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. Forget her. Don't think of her. How can I not think of her? By giving liberty unto thine eyes. Look at other women. Basically. Yo, there's other girls, bruh. 'Tis the way to call her exquisite. So basically, he's saying all other girls would just remind me of the first girl. I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt. I don't know what this joke is or this pun is. Where I may read. Who passed? I don't fully understand. Maybe it might be a joke on the word note, but I can't tell. All right, here we go. Scene 2. Capulet is out. Paris is out. We're seeing Paris for the first time. So Capulet and Montague have the same penalty. And we are old, so we're just going to keep the peace. So Capulet and Montague are trying to stay peaceful. What say you to my suit? She's not even 14 yet. Because Paris is approaching Capulet for Juliet. Paris is like, there are people that have been married who are younger than Juliet. And too soon married are those so early made. Capulet is being wise. You can't marry younger than 13, bruh. Hold down. Stand down. The earth hath swallowed all my hopes but she. So Capulet loves his daughter. She's the only hope left in this world. Get her heart. I can will, but you need to get her heart as well. So you can't only come to me. You have to actually seduce her as well. And seduce is probably the wrong word when we're talking about old times, because seduce back in the day, I think, just meant rape, basically. So be careful with that word. But yeah, you have to win her heart as well, not just my consent. I will welcome you to my party tonight. Come to our house, which will be very well lit, and young, healthy men, when they are well dressed, oh, now it's April, so young, healthy men will feel comfortable, even delightful, when you come to our house and you see these fresh female buds. Basically, there's gonna be other young girls. There will be other women. There will be women here, okay? And try to win her. This party's gonna be lit. Is basically what he's saying to this boy. Okay. Come, go with me. Find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay. And like her most, who's made her most shabby. that the shoemaker should meddle with his, and the tailor with his lass, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. What's going on here? It is written, but I am here, whose names are writ, and can never find what names. I see. It's a joke. Capulet gave him a list, but the servant can't even read the list. Benvolio and Romeo are here still. Tut, man. One fire burns out, another burning. Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die. If you poison your eye with a new poison, the old poison will die. It's funny though, because poison, it's a bit of a, it's a like for anyone who knows this, like we're gonna have poison later on. Okay, so it's there's like this other sort of meaning for this idea of poison. I feel like you have to automatically have that reaction as me if you know the rest of the story. For your broken shin? What is this? Hang on, what? Your plantain leaf is excellent for curing. Curing what? Your broken shin. Is Romeo threatening to break Benvolio's shin because of Benvolio's advice? Is that what's happening? I think that's what's happening. I'm crazier than a crazy person. And God didn't, good fellow. God didn't. I pray, sir. Can you read? I, mine own fortune and my misery. I can read my own fortune and my misery. Can you read anything you see? If I knew the letters and the language, ye say honestly, rest you merry. Stay, fellow. I can read. So the servant is like, this dude is not going to help. It's like, no, I will help. Signor Martino. Lady of Trevio, Placentio, Mercutio, Valentine, Capulet, Rosaline, Signor Valentio, Tybalt, Helena. Whither should they come? Up. Whither? To supper, to our house. Whose house? My master's. Indeed, I should have asked you that before. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray, come and crush a cup of wine, rest you merry. So the word Rosaline has come out. So it's funny, this is like a little bit of a literary trick, but Rosaline is the name that comes out in this list. It's the first time we see this Rosaline, but Romeo and Capulet were chatting in like the background basically, and then the servant lands on them. Turns out the servant is from the Capulets, and the two are from the Montagues, and I don't know. It's just this thing that happens. It helps to imagine the scene that's happening. But basically, once the servant leaves the Lord Capulet, he's sort of wandering, and he happens along these two Montagues who are chatting. He doesn't know that they are Montagues though, but they are chatting literally from the previous scene. They're still chatting about the same topic. So if that helps you imagine the scene, hopefully that helps you appreciate the scene, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Hilarious. Actually, Benvolio is giving really terrible advice, right? He's like, "Yo, go to the Capulet party, go see Rosaline, and go compare her to the other bitches." Is basically what Capulet is, what Benvolio is saying to Romeo. Sorry for being crude, but I feel like basically Benvolio is being a little crude because he's saying, "I will make you think, and I will make thee think." Oh, I think he's saying let's go together actually, but your swan will look like a crow when you compare Rosaline to these other women. Is basically what Benvolio is saying. When the devout religion of mine eye maintains such falsehood and turns tears to fires. So the religion of my eye is probably talking about his faithfulness to Rosaline. And these who often drowned could never die, transparent heretics be burnt for liars. One fairer than my love? No, there's no possible way you can have me burned as a heretic if I change my mind. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being but you thought she was hot because you didn't compare her to anybody else. There was nobody next to her. I'll go along. I'll go to humor you. But I'm going to just rejoice in splendor of mine own, just to admire Rosaline, is basically what he's saying. Not to humor you per se. Scene 3. We're in the Capulet house. All right, let's go. Why did she say now by my maidenhead? Like, I don't. What? Isn't that referring to the vagina? Ah, dude. All right. So the nurse is being frantic. Oh my god, it's been a year since I called her to come over. She's just exaggerating. What lamb, what ladybird? God forbid. Where's this girl? What? Juliet! Okay, that's kind of like the scene. Nurse is being silly, being kind of like loud and noisy. How now? Who calls? Your mother. Madam, I am here. What is your will? Nurse, give leave a while. Nurse, come back again. I've remembered. Thou'st hear our counsel. Yes, I can tell her age unto an hour. She's not 14. I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teeth be it spoken at but 4. Okay. 4 teeth. She is not 14. How long is it now to the Lamatides? 4 9 and odd days. So it's about 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks until she becomes 14. What is Lammas? Okay. Oh, maybe not her birthday. Sorry. I want to Lammas. The first day of August? What? I thought it was April. What? I swear it was April. I'm genuinely confused. Here, I'm gonna do a quick, because if the setting has just changed, then it would be good to know. Yeah, so it's, hang on. Oh, it is her birthday though. Okay. What is this April thing though? Like now I'm because that's messing up my. It has to be April right now. I'm like, is this an error? Hang on, I'm bothered by this. Okay, so. You know what? Oops. Oops. Eh, dude, wrong shortcuts. Okay, I'll skip it. I'm gonna move on. Let me make sure you can see my screen. Are we on the right screen right now? Yes. Susan and she were of an age. Oh, so Susan, like a sister or something, died. Rest in peace. So God rest all Christian souls. That's like rest in peace. But as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. So like July 31st. That shall she marry. I remember well. Now 11 years, and she was weaned. I shall never forget it. For I had then laid wormwood to my dug. Now I do bear brain. But as I said, so the nurse is a little silly. She keeps changing her story is very interrupted, and this is just like a funny thing that Shakespeare does. He's skillful. He's like writing the speech of many different characters, and they're very very different from each other. So because in drama you can't just describe them. Okay, you can't just. It's not like fiction. You can't just describe the people like, oh, she has red hair, whatever. You can't, because you're not a narrator. In drama, you can only write the setting and the speech of the people, of the characters. And so the way that you can differentiate your characters is by writing it differently. And so Shakespeare was a master of this. It's like, nay, I do bear a brain. So like she's like defending herself. Like, oh, I have a brain. Like, like in the middle of her talk, she's very choppy in the way she speaks. So it's that's just something interesting I noticed. What is a dug? Dude, what is laid wormwood to my dug? Laid wormwood to my dug. Wormwood has to do with absinthe, okay, which I honestly I feel like I should have known that. So when she tastes the bitter wormwood on my nipple. Okay, so there was like some alcohol, like kind of drink on her nipple to fall out with a dug. What? To fall out with dug is with breast. Okay. So she was weaning. So that's the thing with weaning, right? With I'm just bad at this context, but basically you have your nurses weaning um, your your babies off of milk, mother's milk, I guess, or you're weaning them onto the. What does weaning mean? I need to double check this now. When you're weaning, you're getting them move. Yeah, you're moving from the breast milk to the other. Um, I guess, are you weaning from yourself to your nurse? I'm kind of confused about that, but sure. The context here is the context right now is that the nurse is just talking about breastfeeding Juliet, and apparently she put wormwood, which is like an alcoholic drink, on her nipple. But it might not be so much of a drink as much of a bitter flavored sort of herbal thing. Okay. And it tastes very bitter, and so she fought with the breast. She like attacked Juliet, attacked the breast. To bid me trudge, and since that time it is 11 years. Now it's 11 years since then. By the rood, she could have run and waddled all about. For even the day before she broke her brow, and then my husband, God be with his soul, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit. and said I. To see now how a jest shall come about, I warrant. If I should live 1,000 years, I should never forget. And it said I. Hold, shut up, lady. So this is a okay. The nurse is telling the story in a hilarious way. She's like laughing as she's telling the story. It stinted and said I, right? Like kind of she's like laughing as she's saying this. Because it's funny that a baby will say that. To usually I say I. And yet I warrant. And she's just repeating the story because it's hilarious to her. And please, stint thou too, I pray thee, say I. Oh, Juliet comes in. Peace I have done. God mark thee to his grace. I have my wish. It's interesting. We have this like nice little domestic scene. We have all the men fighting, and then we have this very domestic scene with this nurse telling this story about Juliet who falls on her face, and she's cracking up, and they're like, "Please shut up." It's the tonal shift is actually kind of amazing. Okay, here we go. Mary, that Mary is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married? I dream not of. It is an honor that I dream not of. Juliet is a little witty here. An honor, were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou hast sucked wisdom from thy teeth. Because it's wise to think of it as an honor. Well, think of marriage now, younger than you. Here in Verona, ladies of esteem are already made mothers by my count. And was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid? Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love. A man, young lady, such a man is all the world. He's a man of wax. Verona's summer hath not such a flower. Nay, he's a flower, in faith a very flower. So the nurse is like trying to persuade. What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night shall behold him. Beauty's pen. See how beautiful he is. Examine every merry lineament. And see how one another lends content. And what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. This precious book of... So basically, look at his face. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride, for fair without the fair within to hide. That book in many's eye doth share the glory, that in gold class lock in the golden story. So the mom is referring now to kind of like the marriage of the wealth as well. He's beautiful. His economic status is similar. Women grow by men. And the nurse is just like being the hype man in the background, just constantly just jumping in. Can you like of Paris love? I'll look to like if looking liking move. Sure, I'll think about it, but no more deep will I endart mine eye. And then your consent gives strength to make it fly. You giving him consent does not make my does not make my eye fly. We follow thee. Juliet the county stays. Go girl, seek happy nights to happy days. All right, we're about to hit scene 4. I'm a little, just a tiny bit tired, so let me just take a quick stretch break. Have something to drink, and I'll be right back. Boop. All right, let's make this. Let's get through Act One. I am actually, for the moment, I am enjoying. Oh, sorry, I didn't turn my screen on. Okay, so just a quick, just a quick break. I am enjoying. I'm enjoying the play so far. It's nice. It's what I'm impressed by, having like reading Shakespeare for the first time in like um 10 years probably. What I'm impressed by is just like tone, like the different types of scenes that we're getting. This world is so alive, it's so full. There's these servants, they're they're like griping. It's like, I don't know how to read. And there's like this nurse making fun of herself but also telling this story in this terrible way. There's the firebrand who just like starts just trying to fight as soon as possible. There's so many different types of characters. It's such a rich world. It's like comparing it to, like, for example, the Marvel movies. There's like multiple types of humor and stuff, but this feels more human. Whereas the Marvel movies, these characters feel more symbolic. Not always, but a lot of times they don't feel as human. They just feel funny or entertaining or interesting, right? It's like for the one-liners. But here, I don't know, they feel like such different characters, and it's all purely through the way they speak. That's all. And that's just, it's sort of amazing to see that. um, so I am appreciating this kind of writing a lot more than I did when I was in my teens or like very early 20s. Way more. So yeah, that's just my one little comment. I am enjoying it. Obviously, it's harder. It's hard to parse the language sometimes, but it's not overwhelmingly painful either. Anyway, that's just my comment. I'm gonna get into the story. Let's do it. Let's finish off Act One. Hang on, where are we? We're at a street. Um, oh, the father is here too. Okay, with five or six maskers, torchbearers, and others. What's okay? Prolix is when you're speaking. What? I'm like when you're speaking like too much. Oh, I think they're going to the prince to defend themselves. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf. I am confused. All right, Benvolio is saying this thing. Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light. Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance. Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground. I cannot move. You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound. What is going on? I am too sore impierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound. I cannot bound a pitch above the woe. Love is not tender. It pricks like thorn. This is a cute sentiment. If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in, a visor for a visor. What care I? What curious eye doth quote deformities? Here are the beetle brows, shall blush for me. Huh. I'm not fully understanding. Is this? Are they entering the party? Hang on. I'm gonna jump to the next part of this scene. So it seems like they're going to the party, and I'm slightly confused because why would the Capulets invite them? Because they're not going to invite the Montagues. I am legitimately confused now. Should I just give up and look up? Should I look up No Fear Shakespeare? I will, because it's just too much. I don't want to bother struggling like this. So Act 1, Scene 4, Romeo and Juliet. Their friend Mercutio? Wait, Mercutio's not the father? Ah. Oh, sorry. I was thinking Montague. That's oh, I was totally screwed by the Mercutio Montague. I was thinking this was the father, too. Well, I don't know how that. Okay, that messed everything up. Hang on, and let me just make sure, because I don't know. I wasn't even tracking Mercutio properly. So let me just double check. Mercutio comes out in Scene 2 and 3. So let's start there. Scene 2. Oh, so Mercutio was invited. Okay, so there we go. Mercutio invited. And then Scene 4. Right, in Scene 4, Mercutio is here. Okay, so all we don't know anything about Mercutio yet. All right, here we go. God, that was such a. Okay, that was a silly mistake, but it happens, right? It happens to everyone, I think. You know, you map the word to the wrong thing. So I mapped the word Mercutio to Montague, and it messed everything up. All right, so that's how do I unhighlight that on this app? I don't know how this works, but you know what? Forget it. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're not going to go in with some sort of elaborate lie or story to get in, okay? We're just going to go, we're going to check out the woman, and then we're going to be gone. We must have you dance. Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with them. I have a soul of lead. I am too heavy to dance. Okay, this makes way more sense now. You are a lover. Borrow his wings and soar. I am too sore in pierce with his shaft. I am too. He is being emo. I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink, and to sink in it should you burden love. I mean, he's just being a sad sop because Rosaline does not love him back. It is rough. If Mercutio be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. That sounds kind of rapey, honestly. Give me a case to put my visage in. My face in, basically? Isn't visage face? Yeah. Face in. A case to my face in. A visor for a visor. Now that has to be with eyes. But kind of sure. Visor. What care I, what curieth eye doth quote deformities? I don't understand this part. I'm kind of curious. I feel like it's a joke, but I really want to understand this. Because I feel like this will help me understand this character of Mercutio a little better. And So I want to get this really quickly. Let me see. So, okay, so you can see. Oh, mask. That's what the the case is, a mask. Okay. A mask to put over my other mask. A visor for a visor. What do I care if some quote deformities sees my flaws? Quote has something to do with seeing. That's interesting. Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me. Oh, well. Oh, what the? Okay. Okay, not terribly interesting, honestly. So, just okay. They're putting masks on, and I should have picked it up. I should have picked up the mask case thing because of the 5 or 6 maskers over here. I don't know what's going on with this. This app is being really strange. But yes, it's evening. They have masks. They're joining the party. Come, knock and enter. Go to your legs. Go dance. A torch for me. Let wantons light of heart. Tickle the senseless rushes with their heels. For you, you guys have fun. I'll be a candle. I'm just gonna watch. Have fun, guys. Duns the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done. What is done? Okay. Yeah, dude, this if you're a stick in the mud, this translation is very strange. What is this word done though? I'm not totally sure, but I'm gonna move on. You're being lame. Come, we're wasting time. Let's go. Nay, that's not so. You're being lame. If you're being so lame, we'll have to pull you up. Let's have fun. We're wasting time. Let's go. We waste our lights in vain. But 'tis no wit to go. Why, Mayon asked. I dreamed a dream tonight, and so did I. What was yours? That dreamers often lie. Shut up, bruh. In bed asleep while they do dream things true. While they do dream things true. Oh, I just realized the lie is lying in bed asleep. Okay, and the dream is true. Oh, then I see Queen Mabe hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than a goddess agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman. Enemies athwart men's noses as they lie. Her wagon spokes made of long spider legs. He's making fun of him, just drawing up this very fantastical image. The cover of the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider's webs. Her chariot is an empty hagisma made by the joiner squirrel. Night by night, through a lover's brain, and then they dream of love over courtiers' knees. Lawyers' fingers, who straight dream on fees. Ladies' lips. Suit. The tithe pig's tail. So Mother Mabe, Queen Mabe, is this queen of dreams. I wonder where this character comes from. Soldier's neck, then dreams he of cutting foreign throats. It's an interesting. This little dream character is interesting because what it's doing is zooming out to all of society, all these different types of characters, all these different types of people in this world. You know, I don't know. And maybe what it is because it's a show, and these, and the people here, like they, the viewers of this play are people of all sorts of jobs and occupations, right? It's sort of a call out, right? It's like kind of engaging everybody. This is like the meaning of dreams, so it's like this little thing that everyone can sort of kind of relate to. This is that very maid that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf folks in foul sluttish hairs, which one hang on. Manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf folks in foul sluttish hairs, which one untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear. This is very sexual, making them woman of good carriage. This is shut. Yo. Hang on. He's talking about very sexual images. I seriously wonder what No Fear Shakespeare did with this, just because I don't fully understand everything here, but I'm certain that No Fear Shakespeare is going to censor this quite heavily. So let's look for it. Oh no. Okay, no. Hang on. The spokes of her wagon. Okay. So here we go. She is the same maid. She is the same maid who tangles the hair in horse's mane at night and makes the tangles hard in dirty hairs, which bring bad luck if untangled. False sex dreams to virgins and teaches them how to hold. Oh, excuse me. False sex dreams. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess that's a fair. Yeah. It's the language is way more raunchy, but I guess that's a fair translation. So I'm not gonna argue with that one. Back to the story. Oh, dude. You are talking of nothing. Yes, exactly my point. Dreams are nothing. Benvolio. This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done. We're getting too late. I fear too early. Romeo had this dream. He's fearing some bad thing. Of a despised life closed in my breast. Expire the term of despise. By some vile forfeit of untimely death. He dreamed of someone dying. On lusty. Okay, I dreamt of somebody dying, but he that's hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail. I think, is he referring to God? On, gentlemen. Strike, drum. Boom. Now we're at the next. Weird, interesting bit of foreboding. Foreshadowing, if you have to use that word. But like, he dreamed that something bad will happen. But for some reason, I'm going to go in anyway because God wills it. And so he just moves on. And of course you will. You're going to have a dream. Your friends are like, go check out these girls. And you're going to go and check out Rosaline. Of course you're going to go. You had this dream. You have this bad feeling, but you're still going to go. Of course you are. So that's natural. Scene 5. Capulet with Juliet and others meeting the guests and maskers. Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplayed with corns will have a bout with you. All the ladies, the younger ladies, basically, who don't have corns, right? The like the what do you call corns? But yeah, those little problems on your feet. The younger ladies who have fresh feet, they will dance with you. Aha, my mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance? Now, so that's a joke. It's like, hey, if you don't have corns, you're gonna dance. Oh, if you don't dance, you definitely have corns on your toes. So that's a nice little joke to start a party. That I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play a hall, give room and foot it, girls. More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up. Quench the fire, it's too hot. 30 years. His son is 30. Was but a war 2 years ago. So we're just having old people chatting with each other about how old they are. Of yonder night, I know not, sir. Is he literally seeing Juliet in this very moment? He must be. Now, I do want to make a comment. I'm just realizing something. Um, Due to COVID, right? Everyone has to wear masks. At least in Korea, for sure, where people actually do wear masks. So I bet that changes the sort of uh, romantic sexual tension between teenagers, um, like pretty significantly, because now you're kind of, you look at somebody, you get their overall vibe, and then they take their mask down. It turns out, oh my god, we'll never meet that person, right? Like it's like I don't want to meet that person because of their face. I've heard students tell me about these stories. Like it's a real thing. It depends on how their face looks, but maybe they have a great voice, or maybe they have like great fashion sense or whatever. But that face, the final reveal, that makes a big difference. I was just thinking about, in Italy at this time, you have these parties with these masks on, and I wonder what that's like. It must, and I'm thinking that COVID might have actually helped with understanding how that feels. It's just a random thought I had, so I wanted to share that. Now let's go back to the story, and I literally think he must be seeing Juliet, because of course he knows what Rosaline looks like. So the servant's like, I don't know. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night, like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove, trooping with crows. We're using the crow now, but now it's not a swan, it's a dove. As yonder lady o'er her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. He's gonna go and touch her hand. Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight? For I ne'er saw true beauty till this night. Romeo literally changed his mind in this one scene. Now, obviously, in the writing, it happens extremely suddenly, but probably when you're actually acting this out, you want to show the dancing quite a bit. You want to see like Juliet like laughing or whatever. You want to see her flirting. You want to see her dancing with Paris and maybe not responding very well. So you want to see that. She's You want to see, like, you would have like a scene of just Juliet sort of like dancing, and Romeo would be watching and like thirsting. He would start thirsting, like, and you might even, if you're the director of a movie, or if you were showing this in play form, you might even show Rosaline, and Romeo will see Rosaline but then see Juliet behind Rosaline, something like that, right? And so it's very fast in this if you're just reading it, but if you're imagining it actually as a production, it doesn't have to be this fast. Oh, and then Tybalt, he's like, it's a Montague. My spidey sense is tingling. Fetch me my sword. Now by the stock and honor, my kin, I will kill him. Hi, how now, kinsman? Wherefore storm ye so? Uncle, this is a Montague. This is like a very serious boy. He's like you must hate to have this kind of son. Young Romeo, is it? 'Tis he, that villain. Content thee, gentle cause. Let him alone. He bears him like a poorly gentleman. Verona brags of him to be virtuous and well-governed youth. Be patient. It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him. He shall be endured. Am I the master or you? Go to. You will not endure him? God. So Capulet here would be very angry. He'd be very angry right now. You'll make a mutiny. So I don't want to, I can't shout right now, but yes, he would be very angry. You will say, Kako, you'll be the man. And so Capulet is trying he's trying to sun Tybalt right now. Like, stand down. Saucy boy. What the trick may chance to scathe you? Mary, 'tis time. What's in my heart? Your princox, go. Be quiet, more life for shame. So Capulet is clearly upset. You know, you can tell just by the types of the exclamation points and like the very shortened phrases. Yeah. Yo, Shakespeare, man, he was so good at this. He was so good at writing this dialogue. Makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall now, seeming sweet, convert to bitter gall. So Tybalt is the shadowy figure in the background now. He's just pissed. He's angry. He's seething. If I profane with my unworthiest hand thy holy shrine, the gentle fine is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. My lips are smoother than my hand. Please let me kiss your hand. You do wrong your hand too much. You're being too polite. And palm to palm is Holy Palmer's kiss. So Juliet is being, she's a little giving some distance. Let us kiss with palms. Okay. So Romeo is being very aggressive. Have not saints' lips and holy Palmer's too. Yes, lips that they use in prayer. This is honestly, it's a juicy scene. You can imagine Juliet doing this. Oh then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Let the lips pray that you grant, lest faith turn to despair. Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake. Is he winning right now? Is he like kind of winning her heart right now? Then move not, while my prayers effect I take. Okay, see, so that sentence, Juliet, is actually, she's giving a little. Saints do grant a kiss when it's prayed for, right? So that's kind of like the pun there. And Romeo is like, oh, then you don't need to move. Just stay there and I will kiss. And I will purge my sin through this prayer of kissing. What the heck? Then have my lips the sin that they have took. Give me my... Oh, they are kissing. They are kissing right now. Wow, they went right into it. That was very fast, very sexy, very fast. Sin from thy lips, oh trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again. You kiss by the book. You kiss like a like a noob. What is Juliet experienced? What's going on here? Madam, your mother craves a word with you. What is her mother? Mary Bachelor. Shall have the chinks. Huh. I don't know what the chinks are. Like chinks of armor? Like shall be. What? Is she a Capulet? Oh. Oh, Romeo is finally realizing who Juliet is. Aye, so I fear the more's my unrest. Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling, foolish banquet towards. Is it even so? The son and heir of old Tiberio. What's he that now is going out of door? Petruchio, that would not dance. Go ask his name if he be married. My grave is like to be my wedding bed. Huh? What the? My grave is like to be my wedding bed. Huh? So Juliet is learning the name of. So Julia is asking, as people are leaving, she's asking the name of the names of the people, and she's learning about Romeo. My. Oh, this period might be an error. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed. I see. If he is already married, so she's already in love with him, and if he is already married, so that period is an error. There must be a comma there. If he is already married, then I will die without getting married. The only son of your great enemy, dude. Yeah. So this scene actually needs quite a bit of dramatic setup because just by reading the lines only, it would feel shockingly fast and it would feel very unnatural. But but depending on how you imagine the scene, the dancing and everything, it can become a lot more believable. Which is one of the tricks with drama. It's really hard to do that at first when you're first reading these things. Even me in college, I was not very good at imagining the scene. I'm just thinking about that right now. Of one I danced withal, one calls within Juliet. Come, let's away, the strangers are all gone. That was Act 1. They fall in love. Huh. That last scene of Act 1, yeah, definitely. I like, honestly, emotionally, I wasn't so engaged with that last scene just because it did feel very, very, very fast. It requires quite a bit of imagination to make it feel real. Um, but yeah, man, they were just making out. They were making out, and they were like by the end, they were really like they were thirsting for each other. Like that's what happens in this part. So if you have to feel that, you have to really imagine that scene. And in the 21st century, the best way to do that is just to watch movies like this, and then to have the scenes play out in your head. If I had to construct that scene, it would be much slower. Like Scene 5 of Act 1 would take a long time. It would take a long time because you would have to have the dancing, the flirting, the eye contact, the initial awkwardness, the smiling. You'd have to have all of that to make it feel real. And then by the end, when he finds out she's a Capulet, that sort of fantasy, that too good to be true feeling should like keep crescendoing, and then it's like she's a Capulet, and he has to be completely dejected. This scene, like, is she a Capulet? Right? This scene has to be like world shattering. this line has to be world shattering. Yeah. So anyway, that was Act One. I am enjoying it. That last scene though did require a lot of imaginative. It does require a lot of imaginative powers to make it come alive. But yeah, that was Act One. I'm actually looking forward to Act Two. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. I think I'll try to go. I'll try another have at it tomorrow. Between now and tomorrow, though, if you have any thoughts or responses to this story, to this play, please leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Also, if you have any thoughts or comments on the way that I'm doing this, if you have any ideas, if there's some things that you really enjoy in everything that I'm doing, please just let me know. It helps me out just to know what's working for people, how much this is helping you enjoy the actual story. I know that at school when you read these things, it becomes kind of a grind because you're like testing yourself to like 100% understand everything. So it becomes very joyless. But I'm hoping that reading along with me will help you enjoy the story, enjoy the play a little more. All right, guys. Good night. See you guys in the next one.